Hey family, so yesterday we was talking about idols and altars, how God is making it clear that we shouldn't have any idols of any kind. Like, you shouldn't create anything out of gold, metal, silver, wood that looks like anything, and you shouldn't be bound down to it, okay? And then he also tell us about altars, how to properly create an altar to make your sacrifices on, if it is from dirt or if it's out of stone, right? And now he goes into more details about the Ten Commandments, because these details, these laws, he's breaking it down from the Ten Commandments so that you can have more clarity on what these Ten Commandments cover. So then he goes into Hebrew servants, people that work for you, how you should treat them, right? And like, he basically saying after 6 years you should let them go, right, if that's what they want to do, right? And then he talks about personal injuries, like if you kill somebody, your punishment should be that you should be put to death. If you kidnap somebody, your punishment should be you be put to death, right? Anyone that kills their parents, their punishment should be put to death. I know you're saying it seems like all the punishment is to be put to death, but I feel like these are different. Not all punishments are to be put to death, right? But these are injuries. You're injuring somebody, you're hurting somebody for no reason. And so the punishment has to be big enough to discourage you from wanting to do these horrible things to people for no reason, right? And then, he goes on, and say, if you have a slave, right? If you hurt them in any way, like you cause them to lose an eye, right? You should let them go free and compensate for them losing an eye. Boy, I tell you, what was these Christians reading during slavery, right? Or maybe they skipped over this part, because according to the Bible, like, any injury would have been automatically freedom for us. But I guess they skipped over that part, right? But this is what God says, right? It's in Exodus 21. You got the Hebrew servants, you got the personal injuries, and then he goes on to talk about protection of property, where God is talking about, people being compensated for the things that they lost. Like, if your sheep somehow got hurt because of somebody else, then that person got to pay you the price for that cattle for being hurt. If they stole something for you, they got to pay you back the value of the stuff that they took from you. So it's just like, as you read these laws, right, and just go through them, you're seeing how God is showing us that, it's a certain way you should treat people, right? And if you wouldn't want this to be done to you, you shouldn't do certain things to other people, right? And this is how he is telling the Hebrews to treat each other, because we're family, right? We come from the same person, right? So we should have this respect for each other, right? Because if we don't have this respect for each other, we can't think, somebody else would treat us with respect when we don't even treat ourselves this way. right? And I feel like that is us as the black community. We don't treat each other with respect. We don't, basically what I said, we don't treat each other with respect. And so others see us and they don't treat us with respect. And they do things to us because they know we're not going to have each other's back. We're not going to stand up for each other. We just go let it happen. And God is showing us how to respect each other, how to do what's right, how to stand up for each other, how to be a community, right? So, I mean, he even go to social responsibility. He say, no one should have sexual relationships with animals, right? No one should mistreat or oppress a foreigner, right? No one should seduce a virgin, right? And who he plans not to marry. So all these men that's seducing these women, telling them that they want to be with them, being with them for months and years, and in the back of their mind they never plan to actually marry them. God says those men supposed to pay a price for doing that to these women, right? He says don't take advantage of widows and fatherless, like the weak. Don't take advantage of these people. They already going through stuff and you go take advantage of them. Don't do that. Right? He talk about how to lend money to people, right? So it's just like, little do y'all know, these laws, most of the laws that the United States is based off is out of this book. But it's like you're willing to follow a government that really don't care about you, don't care about your well-being, right? But you won't follow God's laws that he is trying to protect you. He's trying to look out for your well-being. He's trying to make sure you are good. And if you follow these laws, you'll be good. But somehow God's laws is just way worse than these other laws out here. I'm starting to feel like maybe we're not as good as we think we are, right? Because if we are good people, if we're so kind-hearted like we think we are, then when you go through these laws and you read them, and God is telling you don't accept bribes to harm an innocent person, right? Don't deny justice to the poor. It just seemed like these laws would be okay to follow. All of them. But not wanting to follow them seems like maybe we're not as good of a people as we think we are.